Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be continuing in the Fishing 101 series, and we're going to kind of continue with the idea of the plastics like we were talking about last week. And this week we're going to actually talk and go into depth about drop shotting. Now, a lot of people look at drop shotting as a northern, presentation, or maybe it's a feature that you use in the dead of the summer when the fish are deep, when they're chasing bait fish, or maybe even in the dead of the winter. But let me tell you, there is not very many other baits that work as well on a bed during the springtime as drop shotting. You can use this sucker around docks. You can use it everywhere. It is a great year-round presentation. So let's talk about it. Okay, so first things first, what is drop shot? So this is a drop shot setup. You've got some kind of weight on the bottom. In this case, this is a 1/8 ounce drop shot weight. It slides up on the line, goes through the eyelet, and then pinches up top with some kind of drop shot hook. You can use an EWG if you want, if you're on a largemouth lake or other lakes that would work with. I have this set up for fishing some deeper water, some spotted bass, and some smallmouth. So I use an octopus hook like this that I just nose hook through the worm, just like this. You can see it's free spinning. And then I just kind of skin hook it back like I would with a Texas rig, so it's barely on there. And then when they eat that sucker, I got a lot of hook penetration there. You can kind of see the hook in there like that, and then how it will pop when that fish bites it. So that's your basic drop shot setup. You have your line coming down like that. The weight's going to rest on the bottom. And as it's resting on the bottom, you're going to gently shake the tip of your rod, causing that worm to dance. Most worms, this is a Roboworm, is going to stand out straight like that because they float, and it's going to really mimic a bait fish as you're dragging it through the water. So that's your basic drop shot setup. So next we're going to talk about the basic components you need for a drop shot setup and how to tie it on. Obviously, you're going to need your hook, you're going to need a drop shot worm of some kind, and you're going to need a weight. Now again, this is that 1/8 ounce drop shot weight. We're going to put these two things, the worm and the weight, aside for now, and we're going to bring our line in. Sorry if you're having difficulty seeing it there. It's there, I promise. There, you can kind of see it a little bit. And we're going to take our hook and we're going to run that line through the eyelet on the hook side and run it up our line kind of to our desired length. Now we're going to tie a polymer knot here, so we're going to run that line right back through that hook from the other side, creating essentially a loop on the back side. If I can get my fingers to work right. There we go. So when I do that, I'm going to pull that back through, and you can see we've got a little loop at the end of our line here, and that's going to give us the ability to tie that polymer. Now I'm going to pull enough of that loop through and pinch the other side. I'm going to do basically an overhand, kind of a overhand knot just like that, pulling it back through. Going to snug it up just a little bit, then I'm going to pull that hook back through that overhand loop. Now at that point, got to clean this mess up a little bit. I'm going to moisten it, and then I'm going to secure that down nice and snug. Now once I've got that nice and snug, here's the part that makes a drop shot a little bit unique, is we're going to take this tag end. So here's the tag end of our line, and I'm going to run it right back through that eyelet from the hook side once again, and I'm going to pull it secure. Now when I do that, if you give it a little pop, a little pull, it's going to cause that hook to stand out like that. Now when it's in the water with a weight on it, that hook's going to stand straight out like that, and it's going to cause that bait to really dance in the water. Next thing we do is we go down our desired length. Now I like to go somewhere between 12 and 15 inches on average, and that's where I want to put my weight. Now when I'm using this for bed fishing in the spring, I may only go like 6 or 8 inches. I may not go very far at all. But for this purpose, we're going to go ahead and do it a little bit closer so everything gets in the frame. So we're going to slide that through your drop shot hook. Again, it's got that unique eyelet on there that allows you to slide it through and then pinch the line up top. This is critical with drop shotting because this weight, did that just drop? This weight will often get snagged up, and instead of breaking off your whole setup, you're only going to lose your weight. Now I've seen other people who like to tie little half hitches or overhand knots on the top of their drop shot hook or weights. I don't recommend that because when you break, you're going to break everything off. If you do this right, when this thing gets snagged up, it should just slide right off the line. So again, we're going to slide this back up right on our line, to our desired length. We're going a little bit short for this video. Pull it up there, it's pinched nice and tight. And then we've got our basic setup here. Now as you can see, it's, you know, kind of rudimentary right now, but that weight's hitting the bottom of the, or the deck of the boat there and bouncing. Now we're going to take the worm, it's the same worm we had rigged up earlier. I'm just going to simply go through the bottom of the bait, right through the top, pulling it back around just like that, and then I'm going to just take that and pinch it back. Maybe a little bit more meat on it than that, so I get a weedless presentation, and there it is, your drop shot setup. Now the way you're going to fish this is you're going to cast your lure out there. Obviously you're going to get it to wherever your target zone is, and once you let that, you got to give it plenty of line. A lot of people use spinning reels for this technique. You can use spinning reels. If you're fishing heavier cover, you're fishing someplace with a lot of largemouth, you might want to go ahead and switch over to a bait caster. You know, some people call that bubba shotting. It's the same thing. It's drop shotting with heavier weight or heavier line. So once that thing hits the bottom and you re-engage that spool, you're simply going to pop that rod tip. And as you pop it, what's going to happen is it's going to cause that weight and that lure to gently work their way back to the bank, back to the boat, whatever you're fishing out of, whether it's the bank or the boat, kayak, all the same. You're just going to gently pop that rod tip, and it's going to slowly work back. And as I do it, the way I do it, I keep raising my rod tip as I'm, let me let out some more line here so my lure's not bouncing so bad. As I'm popping it, I'm going to raise my rod tip higher and higher and higher until I get to about a 45-degree angle, and I'm going to reel back down to, you know, just a little bit above 90 degrees and start working it again. And then slowly, slowly, slowly I'll start working it back up until it hits that plane again, and then I'm going to reel back down. And you know, it's a slow presentation. It is a finesse presentation, but it works really well year round. Like I said earlier, you can throw this thing up on a bed and you just dangle that worm and keep popping that worm, just letting it fall with that drop shot weight holding it on the bed. You just give that line a little bit of slack so that worm falls down on the bed, and then pop it and twitch it up again. Bedfish can't stand it. They're going to eat it all day long. All right, we've covered your basic Texas rig. Now we're covering the drop shot. There is a lot of different techniques out there. There's a Carolina rig, which we'll get into in some upcoming videos, along with some moving baits. I'm going to try to get another one out next week about my favorite square bills, because square bills are dangerously good this time of year, and I love them, and I never go out in the spring without them tied on. I hope you guys are enjoying these videos. Keep tuning in. I'll keep kicking them out and, you know, trying to give you guys some good quality videos. Thanks again for the support. You can check me out over at Instagram at Texas John Fishing, and always hit that like and subscribe button and share these videos so to help my channel grow, and we'll keep kicking out good stuff for you guys. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.